I think this is probably the week that Chelsea finally get a victory. I don't know about you, Sean, but maybe if they get 3 points, Brad can show his face around here again. What do you think?
They're not getting 3 points.
Well, R.I.P. Brad. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly Premier League podcast. Weekly look at the Premier League. That's the line that I say. Couldn't remember it for a second, but yeah, it's just me and Sean again today. Brad, I think, is still I don't know.
Held up in customs.
Yeah, that's what it is. He got his flight back. He's in Newark right now, and he just can't get through. They don't believe that he's an American, and I don't blame him. Yeah. Don't blame him. Maybe one day he'll make it home and be able to chat with us about football again. Maybe he'll be stuck in U.S. Customs Border Control jail forever.
Perhaps.
We'll have to see. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, do all the things that podcast and YouTube, internet people ask you to do. If you're on one of the podcast sites, follow, 5-star review, all that good stuff. Do the Sheets of Integrity. It's in the description. Join our Discord, also in the description. We've been doing this immaculate footy thing with just like the 3x3 grid where you got to like line things up and find convergent points between there. I was thinking we should create a Discord channel where we can all post our daily our daily success on that. Yeah. Have a little competition growing.
Today was Swedish-born players and Scottish League players, and I won't get in any of those. I can tell you that.
I looked at it and I was like, I'm going to come back to this. I might not go back to it.
I told the guys in the group that I looked at just a list, not cheating, other than looking of names of Swedish international players. It did not say their clubs because this was international. Just a list of international players for Sweden. The only three I could name are the current ones: Lindelof, Isak, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The rest of them, I was reading down this list like, who are these people?
To be fair, Zlatan even retired, so he's not even...
Yeah, not even active. so I wasn't getting that one. But I did well the previous 2 times I tried.
Maybe check out our Discord. Maybe we'll throw up a channel for that, and we can all have a little bit of banter there over that. But this is match week 3. It's hard to believe that we will already be three match weeks played, and we're not even in September yet. So it's pretty nice. Back to the football that matters. We got the game scrolling along the bottom for you, so just take a look at that if you are confused as to what is happening when. But we got games across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week.
No Monday night because Europe starts up.
Really?
I believe.
There is still.
I saw that Brighton is playing Conference League games.
Yeah. They probably are playing a qualifier. Yeah, that makes sense. Group stage shouldn't start until after the international break.
I fibbed. It was not Brighton. Who is it? Villa? I would just check somebody.
Well, aren't there? It's the Little Cup. It's the League Cup. Conference? The League Cup starts as the 29th and 30th.
League Cup. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it should be round 2, I think. And this is all of the Premier League non-European teams. So Spurs should have a game. Chelsea should have a game. Yeah. Well, the only reason I bring that up, Sean, is because 2 years ago when we were out of Europe, I was really confused. I was like, Premier League teams don't come into the Carabao Cup until the 3rd round. I was really, really zealous about this. And then I realized that it's the non-European teams. And I was like, it'd been so long since Arsenal hadn't been in Europe. It had been 25 years. And I was like, in the entire time that I've always watched football, they didn't come in.
I didn't recognize it as a cup game because we play Fulham.
Oh, that's funny.
What a crappy first game. We're getting done-skied in the 2nd round of the EFL Cup, boys.
Hey, that's probably better for you. If you could just like... I mean,
get out of every cup.
Hold on, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think you guys are going to win the FA Cup. Remember, go back to the Sheets of Integrity. But the League Cup, the winner of the League Cup last year made less money than Arsenal won winning the Community Shield.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like the League Cup is not for us. It's not. I mean, obviously the big teams in England win it every year, but we shouldn't even be in it because it shouldn't be for us. So you guys should go trot out the youngsters that you have before let them play one game before you send them out on loan, and
play Velez. Play Alfie Whitman, Dane Scarlett.
Let them get dunked, and then all you have to worry about is the FA Cup and the Premier League.
I saw an Alfie Devine on the bench in week 1, by the way.
Wild.
Which he's 18, 19.
That's your guy, I think, isn't it?
Center attacking mid. Yeah, did England win that? That was a U18, U19?
U21. The U21 Euros.
He was on that, and him and Scarlett were doing really well.
Yeah. Emile Smith-Rowe, some of the Chelsea guys, Tottenham players.
It was last year.
It was this summer.
Yeah, this past summer. Okay,
it was like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Yeah. So shout out to the English U21, which is kind of impressive because their men's team is their senior men's team is also very good right now. So like they've got a nice pipeline. England does.
What do you call, since we've got the Lions and the Lionesses, are they the Cubs?
Yeah, we'll call them the Lion Cubs. There you go.
The Cubs?
Yeah, there we go. I like that. That's good. All right, let's focus our conversation at Stamford Bridge. We've talked a lot about Chelsea this week for a podcast that doesn't contain any Chelsea supporters.
That's true. Ever.
Chelsea, Luton Town. We alluded to this game a little bit in our episode previous this week. Chelsea have 1 point so far this season, and Luton Town have no points so far. They've played one game only because obviously the Kenilworth Road situation from last week.
Hey, but shout out getting their first goal in Top Flight. Was it Top Flight or? No, it's Premier League.
It's certainly Premier League. It might be Top Flight. I don't know. Have they been in the top division before? I don't know.
We don't have the Google Master Brad.
Yeah.
So, so they're going to go visit Stamford Bridge. This will be their first trip there, I'm sure, or one of their first trips. England has a long history of football.
I'm sure they. I'm sure that they've played their cup games.
All of these players' first trips to Stamford Bridge.
Yes.
Should be a good game. In the sense that Chelsea need to smash them. We mentioned this last game. I don't know if they will because of their confidence level. And maybe Stamford Bridge will help them gain that back. Maybe they'll find some fluidity. Maybe Pochettino is really good about putting his. Think about how he handled Dele Alli, and when he left Dele Alli, how Dele Alli just plummeted. He has a way of putting his arm around players and being like, he's not exactly he's not the easiest manager. He's not a player's manager. He's definitely a hard manager to play for, but he's also one to be like, hey, I know this is hard. I've been there. Come on, come with me. And really get personal with the players. And maybe that resonates with them a little bit more because they've had some authoritarians recently. And I don't know how Potter is. Potter seems a little bit more laid back, but Tuchel's not.
I think Potter was way too even keeled. Like he was sometimes in football you lose and sometimes you win, and we're just here. He's just like going through the motions.
It's confusing to players.
Yeah.
But anyways, all that is to say is I think Pochettino is a little bit better to handle those tough ones.
Excuse me.
And still get people pointed back in the right direction of not unlike Potter. No, it's not okay to lose. It's okay. It's okay to feel bad about losing. I do too. Here we are. What are we going to do about it, though? What are we going to do to get better? So,
I mean, Chelsea have had quite a few injuries. It sounds like Chukwuemeka, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. I won't ask Brad because Brad can't pronounce names. But apparently, he's also injured. He may have also done a knee. At some level, I heard that he's already had surgery, so that's another promising player for Chelsea that has that will be out for a while. This is a tenuous situation for Chelsea to be in. I need to quickly throw shout out to Luton Town. They have been in the first division before, so that was their first Premier League goal, not their first division goal. So apologies, Luton Town fans.
Apologies to the entire town of Luton. I'm sorry.
Yes, all of you, and the supporters at Kenilworth Road. if you guys have us out, we will make our apologies in person. So just bring us out there. We'll say sorry in person.
If you watched the last podcast, Luton Town people of Kenilworth, please send 3 press passes this time. There was only 2 in the last package. I didn't get one. They didn't tell me about it. So 3 press packages. Thank you.
You can coordinate that. That's info.redcardradio@gmail.com.
The Gmail that I never check.
Yeah, that's where your press pass is. It's in the Gmail.
It's in the Gmail account.
It's in the email. But yeah, no. So this is a tenuous situation for Chelsea. They in my estimation, they desperately need to put 5 past Luton and just like have a laugh and go out there and just destroy them. If it's anything less than a convincing, thorough victory, if it's a nervy victory, if it's a draw, if it's a loss, like it's just enough. It's enough to put it in the back of your mind after the torrid 12 months that they have, that it's just like, oh crap, this again for another year. Like you have to be concerned if you're a supporter, and it's hard to really fully support the team if that's in the back of your head, because then like the first mistake happens and you're just on the team, and Stamford Bridge could become a toxic place to be.
I don't want to be increasingly over mean to the Luton team. But do you think with all the new signings from overseas, do they understand? Do they even comprehend how much they need to win this game? Because Luton Town didn't even expect to be here. Like these guys extra aren't supposed to be here, and I don't think someone like Mudryk would even know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He would probably view Burnley the same way, not realizing that Burnley is much improved and was just in the Premier League 2 years ago. I don't think he would know that the ins and outs. He just sees it as a promoted team. So maybe they wouldn't know that these players extra aren't supposed to be here. They played their butts off and they deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, like you look at like the English players on Chelsea. It's like you got Reece James, Levi Colwill, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, maybe one's the captain that's disseminating that to the rest of the team.
Maybe
like, we have to win this.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. That's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. Because they do have a lot of players who are new.
The other team.
Yeah. I don't know if that would help them specifically, but honestly, like that is they do desperately need to.
I think it would add more pressure if they do know that. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
It adds more pressure of, oh no, this is a game we have to win.
Yeah, like if it's 30 minutes in and it's still 0-0, it's like
this is not acceptable.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Now I've been poo-pooing Chelsea for 2 podcasts now.
Okay.
Chelsea fans, this is my olive branch. I think this team is going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year, but I think that this team is going to be good. Give Pochettino the time, like Sean was saying, give Pochettino the time to work with these young guys, work with these players, to get players back from injury, to let Enzo and Caicedo and Lavia and whatever other players you guys sign to gel and mesh. And I said this last year. This was my comment about Chelsea last year. I thought it would take 6 months for last year's Chelsea to gel, and they just never did because there was so much uncertainty around the managers and blah, 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 and there's whatever reasons. But I think that confusion is going to be gone with Pochettino. And so this is my olive branch too. I think you guys are going to be good. You've made good signings. As long as everything is within the rules and you guys haven't broken any rules, I think this Chelsea team will be good. I just want to get that out of the way so you guys don't think that I'm just ragging on you guys.
I just would say they didn't give them 6 months to gel because they gave them about 5 months to gel. Then they bought another $400 million worth of players and then didn't give that enough to gel, fired the manager 3 months into that.
That's true.
Yeah, so it wasn't a whole lot of gelling.
And that's what I'm saying.
You just need to let them all come together.
Let the cake cook.
Let them form a cake. You can't take the cake out and then put more flour in it halfway through baking. You got to let it do its thing.
Yo, that was a fire analogy, metaphor, whatever it was. Example.
Off the dome.
Dude, that was on point. Newcastle. Have you heard about this team? They have another banger game. Another banger game this weekend. They're hosting the boys from Liverpool in red. So we got Eddie Howe and the Toon Army against Jurgen Klopp's top Reds.
Yeah,
And with added Alexis McAllister, who is not suspended for this match. This is a spicy game.
that should be good. It's the last game. It'll be the prime time on Sunday.
Yeah, so Newcastle played City last week. We didn't really touch on this in the review episode, but they played City very well. The City deserved to win, but Newcastle looked very, very good against them. Newcastle also looked very, very good at home against Aston Villa in match week 1, an Aston Villa team that I think we're all very high on. Liverpool convincingly beat Bournemouth and had a good draw against Chelsea away. They didn't play well, but they got a draw, which is important. So the question is, will Liverpool be able to get a result away at Newcastle, or is St. James Park and this Newcastle team just too much for Liverpool at this point?
Yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. A north-ish derby, if you will. I just think we were just speaking of cohesion. It seems a lot more turnover is happening at Liverpool now from a cohesive Newcastle team from last year, where they're just trying to work in McAllister. They're still trying to get the midfield right.
Yeah.
And the defense is settled, but Van Dijk's not getting any younger.
True.
Konate and Van Dijk, and that's settled. Trent and Robertson. But that midfield is key to that offense, unless he's changed it in any meaningful way, and he's tried to with bringing Trent into the midfield when they're not on ball. And that seemed to help and hide a lot of things last year down the stretch where they had a lot of success. But Newcastle are a tough nut to crack. If I remember right, they gave up tied for the least amount of goals last year as a defense.
I think ultimately, I think they tied City for it, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's right. They're a tough one to score goals on.
True. I wonder if Liverpool will be able to integrate their new 6. Forgive me, I don't know what his name is. He's the Japanese guy from Germany that they signed.
And is it Endu?
I don't know. I honestly just don't remember what his name is at all. So I can't even guess at what his name is. But you'll Google that real quick for us. But like they haven't been playing with a defensive midfielder. They've been playing with attacking midfielders, and so or like deep line playmakers and things like that. So it will be interesting to see if they can get him integrated.
I got it. It was Endu.
Oh, okay.
Wataru Endu.
Got it. Perfect. So I think that was a fairly cheap signing, like 19 million or something like that.
Pulled him out of Stuttgart.
Yeah. So I hear what you say about the cohesion aspect. Is like this is a Newcastle team that has been together. The core of the Newcastle team has been together now for at least 12 months, more like 18 months, 24 months. And so they've been together for a long time. They're flying high. They've been adding bits and pieces here, and that's the best part. That's the best part when you have a core and you have a core group of people, and you just like plug 1 or 2 new people into it, and you just keep rolling. And it kind of seems like that's what Newcastle is doing at this point.
Yeah, and Liverpool on the flip side are trying to flip an entire midfield.
Yeah,
which is a key point of the offense.
So tough.
Because they're gonna at one point, maybe not this week because of how new the signing is, but at one point in the next couple of weeks, they're gonna trot a new 6, a new 8, and a new 10 out onto that field.
Yeah,
and they're good. They're quality players.
Yes.
Salazar and McAllister are great players.
Yep.
I don't know about Indu yet, but they're quality players. How they gel with the other quality players, the Diaz, the
Salahs, the Van Dijks, the Trents.
Yeah. That'll be the key. But yeah, it should be really interesting though.
Yeah, so that's one to watch. Again, that's the late game on Sunday, so you'll definitely want to check that out. I'll have another caveat that I have for Liverpool fans. I also think you guys are going to be good long term. Maybe that's my Jurgen Klopp blinders, but I do think that you guys will be good. Quick shout out to Manchester City. Just you guys have Sheffield United this weekend away, but not apparently, but Pep Guardiola will be out this week. He's not going to be on the touchline. He has had back surgery this week. So if you're a Manchester City fan and you've been living under a rock and you didn't know about this, Pep will not be there. He is in Barcelona. He is healing from his operation in his back. Sounds like it was just like a pain issue. Nothing. The City did not make it seem like it was bad or emergency. It was just like a pain issue he's been dealing with for some time, and he just didn't want to bear it anymore, couldn't bear it anymore, so he's got that fixed. So he is fine. At least at time of recording, he's fine. I assume he'll be fine.
The only reason that I would raise it's somewhat of an emergency, pain-wise, is must have been some sort of slip or fall to jar the back to make it worse.
Probably.
That must have been the situation, because if it were just to manage the pain, you would have done it before the season.
Yeah, you would have done it in June.
You wouldn't have done it right after week 2.
You'd have done it a week or two after the Champions League final. You'd have gone on vacation. Yeah. You'd done it, and then you'd have...
So something happened to cause a reoccurring back pain to be worse than it was before, to make him be, this is unbearable, I have to do something about it.
True, yeah. I agree with you. But he won't be there. So, hey, Sheffield United, this is your chance. Here's your moment.
It's for all of us.
Yes. So we're all pulling for you, Sheffield United. A minute ago, I alluded to the fact that the Newcastle-Liverpool game is the big game of the week. I may have been...
Is this a little bit of oversight?
Maybe an oversight.
Big one.
I missed the biggest one. This, boys and girls, loyal listeners of Red Card Radio, friends and family of this podcast, videocast, whatever you're calling it, we have, in August of this year of our Lord 2023, a relegation 6-pointer.
Whoa!
It's already happened. We got Everton on 0 points, -5 goal difference, in 20th position, against Wolverhampton Wanderers in 19th position with 0 points on a -4 goal difference. This is a moment for one of these teams to steal 3 points away from their direct rival and then also block off an avenue for 3 more points, thus making it a relegation 6-pointer. Sean, these are your favorite games. This is your favorite saying, relegation 6-pointer. So I'm just going to say it one more time. What do you think about this relegation 6-pointer?
I'm just glad, if anybody picked it up last year, I'm just glad that we started the counter early, because if anybody paid attention last year, every time we mentioned a relegation 6-pointer, we added 3 points to it. So next time we mention it, it'll be a 9-pointer.
Except for that one time Brad picked a random number that wasn't divisible by 3.
It's not even divisible by 3. What's wrong with you, Dad? He's picking prime numbers that aren't divisible by anything except themselves.
There's a relegation 17-pointer. He's like, Brad, what are you doing?
It's not divisible by anything. That's literally a prime number. Yes, so this relegation 6-pointer, which is completely, it's like, whose line is it anyway? The points are made up and, everything.
Score doesn't matter.
The point doesn't matter. No, this is an interesting game. And I'm not trying to blow hot air into a game that really doesn't matter, because truly, in our worlds, it truly doesn't matter. But this is a very extremely important game for Everton. They have clawed their way out of the relegation zone 2 years in a row, and barely by their chinny chin chin made it out.
Yep.
And now there are only 3 teams that have played 2 games and are on 0 points. And it's Sheffield, and it's Wolves, and it's Everton. And they're not doing themselves any favor to get out of that hole. They're going to need Brad's favorite stadium on earth, Goodison Park,
to be hopping,
to be absolutely rocking, to save these 3 points, whatever they can squeeze out of it. This is important for
yes.
Everton.
It's a momentum game. It's a foundational game. It's Everton, who have they lost to so far? Because I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry.
And in describing that, I made sure to say played 2 games and still have 0 points, because Luton Town and Burnley also have 0 points, but have only played 1 because of the postponed game last week.
Okay, this is my point. Everton have lost 2 games so far. They've lost to Fulham and they've lost to Aston Villa. If you kind of think about last year and you think about like the relative power levels of those clubs, in your Everton, you're like, okay, those are acceptable games to lose. Aston Villa were flying at the end of the year. They finished 7th. Fulham finished top half almost. They were like ninth or 10th, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So like if you think about like the relative power levels now, if you asked that question 15 years ago, Everton would be like, no, we're supposed to be beating those teams, or at least be competitive against those teams. But then Wolves,
5 years ago.
yeah, even 5 years ago, yeah, true. So but Wolves were flirting down there for a while, and so if
Very
you're
similar position.
if you're Everton, it's kind of like, hey, this is a game that we should win. We're at home. We're against a team that's around our levels. We need to get 3 points. Now, the same can be said for Wolves. They're like, yo, look, this team is dross. Like we can handle it. I'm going to be curious to see how long it takes for Wolves to get going, because they did sack their manager. They sacked Lopetegui like a week before the Premier League season started. And they've been playing well. They played well against Manchester United in the first match week. They got destroyed by a Brighton team that is rolling right now.
Inexplicably.
No, it is very explicable. And the reason is that this Brighton team is good is because they're very, very good at just finding people and plugging them into the system and just keep rolling. They don't care who you are. They don't care what your name is. They say, this is what you're good at. Go do what you're good at. And they just keep rolling. And De Zerbi is a good manager for that. Anyway, Wolves, I think both teams expect to win this game. If I'm thinking about it, I think both teams think they can win it. And so somebody's going to be disappointed at the end of this. This is one I would keep an eye on.
You did miss another game.
Oh, bring it to me.
And a comment.
Yeah, true. I
because
did.
You have missed our boys, Birmingham United, coming back to host a Red Hot Villa, the Battle of the Clarets.
True.
Well, one of the three Clarets.
Yes, we can't have a three-way. Maybe we could figure out how to have West Ham play against them as well.
Just have I saw that on the Ocho when they were playing three goal football.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that.
Sean.
Yeah.
Regardless of what Jimmy thinks about let's go Turf Moor boys, mount up, this is our year, or this is the year, is his direct quote, excuse me. Villa are destroying Burnley.
Games at hand United and Baldy at the helm. Come on now. We got company. We got a Baldy now at Turf Moor.
Oh, true. Vincent Kompany. But he's got to go against the impeccably dressed, impeccably spoken, well-spoken
Hasn't lost a hair follicle in 40 years.
Dude, the man takes care of his hair.
That's how did you guys go from Emery to Arteta? Did you guys just scout hairlines? Is that what you do?
Yeah, we did hire two handsome men in a row after following a very handsome man in Arsene Wenger.
I'm not even talking about just like right below, like just remove below the eyebrows from the forehead up. I mean, this is impeccable hairline. This is bloodlines of hairline. This is pretty impressive.
It reminds me of back in the day when Arteta was still a player. They used to do I forget exactly what they were advertising for, but they used Arsenal to advertise for something. And there's this hilarious video of like all the Arsenal players doing funny things, and then it just ends with Giroud like in a shower and just being like, he's got like a towel on and no shirt, and he's just like, what, like I'm beautiful or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why that made me think of it. But all right, Arsenal Football Club. I'm sure that there's some
vanity
local,
of some sort.
Yeah, there's some local jokes that we don't know about because we live in America. But I'm sure it's there. I'm sure it exists. Maybe Joel can fill us in. But that's match week 3 for you guys. That's what we got for you guys. It should be a very exciting weekend. Kicks off on Friday, ends on Sunday. A couple bangers throughout the week. I'm going to be especially keenly following this Arsenal Fulham match. I'm sure you will as well with the Bournemouth Spurs match. But check it out. Let us know in the comments what you'll be watching. Hit us up on Twitter. I'll be tweeting throughout the Arsenal match because my kids' soccer match got moved to Wednesday, so we didn't have to we already played it. So now we don't have to worry about being up early on Saturday. Now we can just watch football. But hit us up on Twitter. That guy right there, he's at Whiteheart _Sean. The absent fellow, hopefully out of customs, is at KS Brad G. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we are at redcard_radio. And the lovely folks at Luton Town, again, this is your opportunity to fly us out. info.redcardradio@gmail.com. We're waiting to hear from you. Bated breath. We'll hear from you guys soon. It's really exciting that we're going to do this. But until next time, enjoy some football this weekend, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.